Hello, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me. Oh, so the message is always for God. Everything I have to say is always about God in some form or fashion. I love to praise God because God is amazing. God is everything. She just be working all the magic in my life. I'm telling you, when you hear the saying, God be moving mountains, God created a flood for me. God created a flood just for me. I be asking for signs, and I'm always seeing synchronicities. It was 112 when I started this video. It was 111 while I was getting it together, and I'm always seeing the signs. I'm always seeing the synchronicities. God stay humbling me and teaching me lessons, and I love it. I'm not gonna act like I love how things be going about, but with patience and with true faith, God is always showing me something bigger and better than I ever can have asked for or experienced. I'm walking in the mall right now. I've been in the Philippines for 9 days, 10 days at this point. It's been raining every single day, except for the very first day when I arrived here. It was a sunny day, and I'm so happy that I had got out with my son and we were walking around the area that we were originally at. But I was like, God, I'm not feeling this place. Like, I'm happy for the shelter over my head always, but I was not feeling it. Our room didn't have any windows that I could see out of. It was some sunlight, and I need my sun. I need my sunlight. The sun showed yesterday, was it? Yeah. I be praying, and I'm in constant conversation. It's loud. I'm in the mall. And I'll try and speak louder, but I'm constantly having conversation with God. I do not talk to people a lot. I don't find that their conversation is interesting enough. I'm not even going to apologize for that because I don't like talking about dumb, insignificant things, right? So if you're triggered by that, maybe you might want to look into the things that you be speaking about. I talk about God all the time. All the time. That is the only thing that's important to me. And your conversation really got to be worth something for me to have a conversation with you. That's just who I am. So the message was about karmic cycles. What happened? I was meditating, and what was the message? The message was, look at your life, right? I'll be laughing. I'll be trying to make fun of people, but I laugh at, oh, this is the store I actually need to go into. How people be talking about God. People be speaking like they be godlike. And it's I don't even want to say that it's funny. When like people be lying to themselves, but God is always watching. God is always watching everything. So if you're not honest with yourself, you're just literally lying to God, right? And so no one ever has to prove anything to me. I don't prove shit to nobody. I prove it all to God, right? God already know my heart. That's why God be moving mountains for me. God be creating floods for me. God be changing shit up because of who I am and who I work for, right? I literally work for God daily in the praise, in my integrity, in my authenticity, in the way I live my life is purely for God, you know. I ain't perfect, but I try to be. I try to be daily for God because that's who is putting life in my body every day, right? And so I trigger people with the truth, right? I trigger people with speaking my mind, and it'll touch on something that someone needs to do some shadow work on based off of how they are going to take my message, okay? I come from only love, not judgment. And sometimes when people hear my message, it ain't what they want to hear because it is the truth, and the truth is hard to hear a lot of the time, all the time. Let me just say that. Unless you are a wholesome being, unless you are in a place where you're ready to take some constructive advice. I don't want to say criticism. Some constructive advice on how to improve your own life, okay? So, in certain aspects of my life, I've had to deal with people. And I can see all the bullshit, okay? This is what happened when you're conscious and you're aware and you're enlightened, or whatever you want to call it from. I am an authentic being, right? I'm extremely authentic. I have no shame. I got nothing to hide. I am who I am. I love myself. I love and I praise God daily. And so if you're the type of being that you be fronting and you not real, like for real with what your words are saying and what your actions are, then you're bullshitting yourself. And God be looking like, oh, word? Okay. Oh, you that way? Oh, right. You got the cross in your house? You read the Bible? But like, perfect example. How many times I grew up Baptist church, Protestant church, on every corner, and it'd be the main people that's going to church, that like the elderly woman that I grew up around, and then they talking about somebody, right? There was a lot of elder women that where I grew up at, their own children were like drug dealers or drug abusers, and they'll be talking shit about them. And it's like, oh, you go to church consistently every single Sunday, that don't give you the right to talk about the position your children are, even if they're your children, right? Like, that's not constructive. You helping them, if they burned a bridge for you, then they burned a bridge, but that don't mean talking shit about them is the godlike thing to do. And currently, where people be at in today's reality, that they be saying they're a good person, but turn around and be ready to curse somebody out because their car got bumped, or because someone bumped into them and they spilled a drink on their clothes, or a new outfit, or they did something wrong or incorrectly. That godlike will not turn around and immediately spew hate and venom on those people that made a mistake, right? Intentionally or unintentionally, right? This is how God humbles me and be teaching me shit every single day, because I was in a position, I'm always in a fucking position, where God is always trying to work through me to teach me a lesson, make me teach someone else a lesson. And I'll be like, oh my God, like, what the fuck are you doing right now? Like, what is it that you want me to do? What am I supposed to learn? What am I supposed to gather from this current situation? This is what I'll be like, God, like, show me, what is this? What is this? And it always turns out to be, okay, I wasn't seeing it in the middle of what was happening, but after the fact, the hindsight was like, okay, but gratefully for me, that who I am authentically is like, I just have faith. I be like, God, I don't like this shit. I don't like the way you're going about it, but I got faith. I stayed faithful. I stayed humble. So I left my, long story longer, I left the last place we were at, a hotel, and I had booked a spot where I'm currently at, which is really fucking amazing. But the first reservation was a whole scam. It was a whole scam, right? God was checking my heart to see, because people could get bitter real quick on some shit not going their way. I checked in, and God also be sending me angels all the time. I'm divinely protected, right? No weapons formed against me shall ever prosper. So those who sin and hate my way or negative energy, I bless you and I love you. And you might want to check that. It's not godlike in karma, right? Karma, right? This is why I'm talking about karmic cycles. So I get to this spot where I'm at, and I'm waiting for like 30 minutes. I did what I was supposed to do, send my information, waiting to check in. And this guy walks up to me and he's like, hey, what are you waiting for? And I'm like, oh, I checked in. He was like, okay, if you're here waiting for more than an hour, then it's probably a scam. This area gets scammed a lot. And I was like, well, I'm hopeful. I'm always looking on the bright side, always the positive. In the middle of a fucking thunderstorm, in the middle of a tornado, I'm still going to be positive. I'm always going to look optimistic, right? So after an hour, when I was texting the scammers that I didn't know were scammers at the time, it was an AI bot. And they were giving me all these numbers to contact all these people that really didn't exist, right? And so I got up to go find that guy that spoke to me. He actually lived in the building. what his job is he works through third-party sites like Agoda or whatever, to create the information that's necessary to check in with the concierge where I'm at. And so he invited me and my son to be in his room. He invited us in his space. I'm so thankful to God for him. Hooked up to his Wi-Fi. I had called booking.com, who was the original website where I had got the reservation from, and I was on the phone with them for like an hour. Remained peaceful the whole time. Did not even get upset that I literally just spent the last money that I had at the time on that reservation. And I'm like, okay, God, like, what the fuck? What's up? You know, what's up? What's going on right now? What are you trying to teach me? I didn't think you would allow some shit like this to happen to me. But it's like, this is the test, right? Because when shit hit the fan, it's the question like, what the fuck, God? You know, and like start flipping out. But to me, I go inward, right? I always go inward. I don't point the finger and I don't blame. I'll be like, what's the lesson? What do you want me to do right now, God? How should I be behaving in this moment? And the whole time I'm super calm. I'm just thanking God. Thank you for allowing us to be in your space. Thank you for, he was like, oh, no problem. You know, he's doing his job while we sitting there. Very kind man. And after a while, I was just like really getting exhausted. My energy was draining. Just, you know, it takes a lot to just be a wonderful human being, okay? And it really doesn't, but it does energetically. And so he was like, how about this? He gave me a whole room. I didn't even pay him for that night. He was like, it's raining. It's been raining literally since the second day we arrived here. Place has been flooding and stuff. And he was like, pay me in the morning. The ATM is in the clubhouse. Don't even worry about it. Like, this is what God do for me. This is why I be so grateful. And I'm like, only God will do that. Only God will do that. I had booked the room. It looked fabulous. It probably existed, but just under somebody else's account, not the scammer's account or whatever. And in the morning, again, I'm so grateful to God to have a roof over my head, for just my life experience, because I am such a wonderful being that God is always blessing me and showing me things and just making me eternally grateful for everything, right? And so in the morning, I'm like, before I went to bed, okay, I had found another place online. I contacted my bank, got my money back, and I was like, God, I found a place. Is this the place? Right? Tell me, show me something, you know, give me that feeling, give me that inner knowing, show me if this is the place, God. I'm like, I need the answer, right? We need a place to stay, okay? And so I wake up in the morning, I book the reservation, after meditation, again, I'm like, God, this is it, I'm making this decision, God. And I booked the reservation, okay? The lady emails me on Airbnb and was like, I'm sorry, there's a flood in our area. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to make this reservation for you. She said, maybe you should stay the night where you are and then check again tomorrow. And I said, see, okay, God, I got the message. You said that ain't it. That ain't it, because honestly, where I'm at is so fucking amazing. Like, I didn't really want to be anyplace else, right? I really didn't want to be anyplace else. It's like, first of all, God always is hooking me up. I'm in this condo complex. I got 9 different condos, got a fucking wave pool, just like all this amazing stuff. And it's right next to this big mall that I'm standing in right now. It's like really amazing, right? I love walking around, and I get to get up, exercise. I hear the kids playing in the pool, raining or not, they playing in the pool, they having fun, and I get to walk around and do some shopping, right? So I saw that God had did some things for me, and I had to exercise patience, right? And just have that continued faith and gratitude that everything is going to work out, because in my mind, this is all I'm saying, that everything is always working out for me. I did a whole short on in my meditation. It was like, everything's working out for me. Everything's working out for me. Everything's always working out for me, working out for me, working out for me. This is what's going on in my head, right? Anything I'm listening to is always working out for me. And so the place that we ended up getting was just unbelievable. It's too good to be true. after spending I don't know how much time searching for places within this area, the one that we ended up getting didn't even exist up until the moment it existed, and then I was able to book it, and everything, the check-in process, everything about it was just so smooth. And that's how I know that's for me. That's what God wanted for me, because everything just worked out exactly the way it was supposed to work out. And it's like, I don't even say how, it's just I know God just makes shit happen. God make miracles out of nothing. It's just us staying faithful all the time. But we got to be in alignment, friends. We literally have to be in alignment with goodness that we say we are. We actually embody in that. And the whole point of this message is that it's people in the world that be acting like they good people, and they be full of shit. I'm just gonna say it. It be full of shit. I got people that I know that be acting like they so good, but in their mind, they be thinking like the most unnicest shit, okay? And how do I know? Because I see their life. Look at your life, friends. And if shit is always hitting the fan, if there's always some type of turbulence going on in your life, if there's some type of strife, if you got relationship problems, if you got drama going on in your life, it's probably because you are not in alignment with God. All right, please like, share, and subscribe. Trying to get my subscribers up to get the message out. But if your life is not peaceful, if your life isn't satisfactory to the point you getting every single thing that you want, that you living out your dreams daily, then you need to check where you are in alignment. Is your actions, your thoughts, your intentions God-like, right? Is it God-like? How are you at work? What kind of person are you at work? Are you authentic? Do you have integrity? I was thinking about when I was in high school, I did some shady shit. I've experienced a lot in my life, friends. Some really horrific shit, okay? That I am here today. So grateful for all of the rape, the molestation, all of the shit that happened to me. You know, the narcissistic relationships, they all taught me something when I became aware of the pattern, the karmic cycles in my life. Because I also did some shady shit too when I was younger. And you're not excused because you don't think you know any better, because we always walking around like we know everything, right, in this life. And so that moment when we acting like we know fucking better, God be getting out the scorebook, right? Be like, oh, you know better, you this person, you that person. When I was in high school, I was a fool, okay? And I was doing things I wasn't supposed to do. I worked at Popeyes, and I was influenced to steal, not knowing that this shit, like, I knew it was wrong, but someone suggested it, and here I am doing illegal shit, okay? Like stealing from a business. And it was like, damn, someone just could say something, and here I am. And those memories came up for me like a day or two ago, and I completely have forgotten about that kind of behavior. And it's like that I wasn't in alignment with God. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking about when I was stealing from the damn register. But it was just like, no wonder, you know, when I think about little itty bitty instances and scenarios of that type of character, which was not in alignment with God. And then I think about, oh, the horrible shit that happened to me. Thank God I have woken up, and I am very consciously aware of absolutely all of my thoughts and all of my intentions and all of my behaviors. And then when I do something, if someone does something to me, what is my reaction going to be? Is there even going to be a reaction? And what are my words trying to convey? Is it trying to convey something retaliatory? Am I hurtful or being like an angry person? Am I being bitter? Is the words that someone's saying to me truthful? Or are they coming from a hurtful place or a spiteful place? Like, all of these thoughts is going through my head. And it's like, now I'm consciously aligned with God 24/7, 365, all the time, right? Like, I'm not playing around, because I see the karmic cycles, and I can see how my life can go based off of my current intentions and my actions and my thoughts and my behavior patterns. Like, I am not playing. So I'm good all the time. I'm good all the time. I do not be playing, okay? And so karmic cycles will come by way because you ain't paying attention, because some shit is going down and you're being unconsciously moving about in your life, probably making not aligned decisions. Someone saying something to you and you got some retaliatory shit back because they triggered you. and you being hurtful with your words, right? Words are spells we cast over ourselves all the time, friends, and I cast my words wisely. I speak from a place of love and honesty and truthfulness all the time because I'm in connection with God's source energy constantly, flowing constantly, and I'm not gonna have no spiteful shit come out of my mouth because nobody gonna trigger me. I'm gonna do the work. I'm gonna do the shadow work. If somebody say something to me and that shit is not truthful, then I don't need to respond. I'll be like, oh, okay. I don't argue with fools. You cannot convince a fool of anything because they think they right. So I'm not gonna try and convince my point of view at all. I'm gonna just be like, okay, well, that's your thought. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. I know who I am. I know what source I am divinely connected to. No weapons formed against me shall ever prosper, friends. And I know that if I'm in alignment with God, everything I say and everything I do is going to be a positive, respectful kind of thing. I treat others how I want to be treated. I walk around being the God that I am, and I am nothing but respectful. I don't care what anybody else is projecting. At any moment, none of that matters. I don't care who it is. Family, friends, strangers, nothing but love all the time. So let me tell you about karma. Yesterday, God hooked me up, literally made floods, did whatever she did, and got me where I am currently at. And I'm just walking around this mall, found it yesterday. I was walking around talking to God. God, it's raining. It's raining like a motherfucker. I need an umbrella. I need me some plastic flip-flops because my Converses is getting soaked. I need something, right? And so, lo and behold, my intuition guided me to this fabulous mall. I'm walking around, walk into a shop, got my shoes, right? So I'm splashing around in the rain now, carelessly, don't care if my feet is getting wet. And I find myself an umbrella. And I'm just like, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. This is what's going on. You know, you the shit, God. You the real MVP. This is what's going on in my mind. I walk outside of the mall. I walk into a restaurant. And these little kids walk up to me. They outside. And they're like, they hungry. They want food. So I'm a giver. I'm a giver. But God has also taught me about, first of all, I don't like beggar energy. Beggar energy is not ever going to help you, friends. If you have unworthiness, lack mindsetedness, not enoughness energy, and you feel like you begging, then you always going to be in beg mode. So you need to change that, friends. I don't care what's going on. I'm always in expectant energy. God has always got my back. God is always doing wonderful things for me, right? And so these little kids walked up to me. I don't like people, like a bunch of people standing around me all the time. I don't care who it is. And they was like, they hungry. Okay, God. I didn't have nothing. You gave me something, and now is the test of, can I share? I can share, okay? But I knew something too about this. Traveling around the world, I also knew about some things with children in foreign countries, seeing foreigners, whether it's children or adults, I see things, right? And so I go inside, the kids follow me inside because I didn't give them money. I was like, you hungry? Okay, I'm gonna get you some food. I ordered some food for myself, my son, and I ordered some food for the kids. And then the lady packed it up, and I asked her, can she give me a bag so I can give the kids some food? They made the kids go outside of the restaurant. So I said, hey, this is for the kids, and this is for me. Give me a separate bag. And I asked her, are those kids out here every day? She said, yes. I said, okay, right? When I'm the type of giver, I don't be like, oh, this person gonna spend their money on drugs, this person gonna spend their money on alcohol. It's not my fucking business what someone does with whatever I give them. If God put it on my heart to give something to someone, then what they choose to do it and what their intentions and what their actions are is on them, and they'll deal with whatever they're gonna deal with. So this is what happened, right? And this is why karma is so real, friends, and it's never to be ignored. It's like your behavior is going to, every action has a reaction, period, good or bad. So what had happened was she gave me my bag of stuff. She took the kids' food and put it in another bag. And she said, I will give it to them. I walked away. She took that bag of food and set it on a different counter. And then when I walked by, I seen her assisting somebody else. She didn't walk right away outside. And so to me, it's like it could have went one or two ways depending on the kid's intention. If these kids' intention, and I've experienced this in the other countries, like I said, was to get over on people and make them feel some kind of way because they want to be acting like victims of broken whatever, I'm hungry, whatever the case is, then she could have given the kids the food, and they could have enjoyed it, or she could have not given the kids the food. I don't know. I didn't stand around for that, because what my intentions was these kids was hungry, let me feed them, okay? And if that actually happened, if they were running a scheme or something so they can just eat all day outside the restaurant, then that's their business. It's not for me to decide, but my actions were aligned with God, right? If their actions weren't aligned with God, then maybe they would not have gotten food. Maybe she would have took the food home. Maybe, I don't know. It's not for me to decide. But the whole point of me saying this, friends, is that who we choose to be inherently, authentically, is going to make our life in a way that's going to be a productive life, or it's going to be a life full of struggle. Okay? And one thing I am eternally grateful for is that I always act with love. Okay, this is my modus operandi these days, is I act with love all the time. If I don't have no money, I'm not going to be in the beggar attitude. I'm just going to be like, oh my God, everything is working out for me. Something's going to come my way, because it does, right? That energy stuff that you be hearing about, friends, this shit is real. This is as real as it gets. People can ignore it. They can say it's woo-woo. But I'm telling you, your life will tell the truth. If I look at your life, I'm going to know the truth. I don't care what you say out of your mouth. I'm going to know the truth based off of the circumstances in your life, what kind of person you are, right? And you can even look at like the P. Diddy situation. I don't even know. I just know he was at court for something, okay? And you can look at like the collapse of the civilizations of the Roman Empire, the Egyptian Empire, like with the fucking American government right now. It don't matter how long someone has been doing something, right? The bigger people are, the bigger God allows people to be, the harder they fall. So just because you can look at a circumstance and be like, oh, this person is evil and they getting away with everything, it's not for you to judge. You have no idea what's going on behind closed doors, okay, for you to judge anyway. That is always for God to deal with, and she does it, okay? God is going to deal you the hand that you so justly deserve based off of your actions and your intentions. And if you're not in alignment with your actions with God, some shit is going down. I experience this all the time. If I stub my toe, I'll be like, damn, God, did I do something? What's going on? You know, I'm like, did I have a thought? Did something happen? Because everything happens for a reason. There is no coincidence, okay? And who you are is going to speak the truth based off of how you live your life. What is going on in your life, friends, okay? God always wants you to be on your best behavior, okay? Always on your best behavior. And many blessings will come to you and through you. I flew from Japan to the Philippines with $6 in my bank account, okay? $6 in my bank account, and nothing but faith, okay? Because that's how I travel this world, on faith, okay? My faith don't make me get into scrunchy mode of not enjoying great shit. I would spend all of my money on a first class ticket in a nice spot to stay at and be like, God, you work it out. You know I wanted to be here. You allowed this to happen. I made my flight. So work it out, God, and just remain faithful, right? I am extremely faithful. When I tell people I travel the world and I talk about how good God is, it's because I live my life in that truth. I literally travel the world and tell people how good God is, because they don't know what real faith is like. Real faith is not saving up waiting for income tax return. It's not waiting for that bonus. It's not waiting for some other shit to pan out. It's waiting for God to deliver exactly what you asked for, and knowing that she gonna give it to you, and you just walk in that direction. That's what faith is. Faith is jumping out there and taking that leap of faith, knowing God got your back, and you walking with your head high, and you like, I'm just going to enjoy this experience. I'm enjoying my life experience. I'm here for a limited time only. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. So while I'm here, I'm going to have a motherfucking good time. In faith, okay? In faith. Friends, in toxic cycles, evaluate your life. What's going on? If this shit is not right, what kind of person are you? Okay, you can always change who you are to be a better version of yourself. Always. You can always be a better version of yourself. But if you be dug in and you want to be stubborn and you allow that ego and that pride to rule you and to dictate everything, then you're going to have a life that you ain't too fond of. And then that's for you to deal with until you realize that, okay, this is not what I want something better. Get in alignment with God and move in faith, right? Move in faith. All of my videos, I'm talking about God all day, all day. God is everything. You are God's, friends. You are God's yourself, okay? You got to tap into that energy, right? That energy, but that energy, right? And know that the creator of all things, source energy, all that she is, you're one with that source. You are one with that source. So create a life of abundance, of wealth, of just so much power, and be grateful and live your life faithfully, knowing that all of your dreams is absolutely possible. Don't think small, dream big. I'm not afraid to ask God for everything. I tell God every day, you know I want everything. I don't have just a list. I want it all the time. And then I am led to wherever I'm led to, and I live my life that way. Thank you so much for watching, friends. Please like, share, and subscribe if this message resonated with you. Trying to get my subscribers up, get the message out, because we need to create a better world. A world where we are not fearful, but we are faithful. Okay, friends? You are all magical, spiritual beings here to have the most joy-filled human existence. So please have one, friends. Thank you so much. Bye.